I just watched the video called "The Police Dash Your Friendly Guides," and basically in this video, the guy is filming the police, sort of speaking to a young lad on a bike, and he's just filming from a distance on his own property. And when the police realise that he's filming, they come up and say, stop filming. And he says, "I've got a right to film." And they say, "No, you don't." So, and they were actually wrong, because when they radioed back, they were told by their sergeant that there's no reason why the man can't film. Well, the thing is, the police will often push beyond, the law, and what they'll tend to do is they'll create reasons. So what happens is, if you've got your video camera there as evidence, then you could obviously say that they didn't follow procedure. And if they can get you to turn your camera off, what they'll often do then is they'll try and find a reason to say that you did something wrong, and they'll probably say that you were violent towards them or aggressive, and that's why they had to arrest you. And they'll just make something out of it because they don't like being filmed. And basically, as most guerrilla filmmakers will know, having evidence of police misaction is often a very good thing. So you are within your rights to film, and as far as I'm aware, those rights haven't been changed, and it's even been upheld in a court case where it was considered that it was an okay thing for somebody to film the police. And I think it's even been suggested that because of police misconduct, it's actually a suggested thing that if people can keep evidence of events when they happen on camera, that this could help you. Don't be surprised though if you get arrested, because the police now have the powers to arrest people for absolutely anything. And this is interesting because there used to be a criteria whereby you had to meet certain standards of what you'd done wrong before you could be arrested, but the law was changed I think six or so months ago, so that you could now be arrested for anything. So if the police just didn't like the look of you, and they thought you were doing something suspicious, and they just wanted to bring you in for more questioning, they can arrest you. So they can actually arrest you for anything. Now, you would have the right to argue that it was an unlawful arrest, or that the police were misbehaving. You probably wouldn't get very far, because the police tend to stick up for themselves and make up extra bullshit so they can justify their actions. And what also tends to happen is, once the police have arrested you, they would take your tape off you, and they'd keep it as what they class as evidence, and they might try to do that without giving you any form of paperwork to prove that they've taken the tape off you, which means that in their the way they operate then is they would try to deny that they ever took the tape off you, and that the tape didn't exist. So they would deny that, because the police are not beyond lying, and I have been a witness to this quite a few times myself. So the police would probably deny that they had your tape, or even worse, if they actually gave you paperwork relating to saying they'd taken the tape would then disappear. And that happens quite a lot. And they'll be very sorry that the tape's disappeared, but the tape just happened to have disappeared. Like a lot of things that disappear in police custody. So, know your rights. I would look up the case information of the case which upheld the person's right to be filming the police, and that actually sets a legal precedent then. So you're well within your rights to actually film them, and I would suggest it's a very good idea to do so. What you could do, which would be even better for you if you wanted to catch the police doing things wrong, is there's these little pens you can get now. They're sort of little spy camera pens, and they're very cheap. They only cost about 20 quid. You can buy them on eBay, and they just fit in your top pocket. And what they've got is a little camera in a pinhole in the front, and when you think you're going to encounter the police, the best thing to do is to not be holding a camera up, because then if they're going to react in a bad way or do something illegal, then you're not going to show them that you're actually recording. So they're more likely to act in a bad manner, which is quite often what the police do. And if you catch that on tape, you can really go to town then with reporting that, putting it out in a public way, and getting those police into trouble, which doesn't happen enough in my estimation. But I mean, I did myself have to put in a police complaint once against one officer. Luckily, again, there were witnesses to what the officer did, and it went right the way through the police complaints procedure. I actually had the senior police officer for the complaints department come to my house and threaten me and I wish I'd had a camera on when that happened, because I think that would have been his job down the drain. But yeah, he came to my house and threatened me, and I wish I'd had a camera. So this is the thing. I mean, if you ever have the police come, to your house, you're within your rights to film them, even if it is secret. You haven't informed them that you're filming them. And the reason for this is, a lot of people think that you can't tape record and you can't film people without their knowledge. And well, actually you can, because the law states that you can record a conversation, be it a telephone conversation or be it a conversation between two people, and you can video film that. You can record it if you are part of the conversation. So if you are part of that conversation, you can record yourself. That's not a problem. And if there happens to be somebody else there, you're not breaking the law. The only time that you break the law is if you're making a recording and that the people who are involved in that recording are basically unaware that you're recording, i.e. all parties involved are unaware that you're recording. But if you are part of that recording yourself, if that recording involves you, then you're not breaking the law. So if you put a camera in a place and then you leave that place, or if you try to set up a tap on somebody's phone, you're breaking the law. But if you are part of a conversation, even if it's a three-way or four-way conversation, you don't have to inform those people that you're recording it. And you're not breaking the law. So yeah, go for it, mate, go for it. The police are a bunch of scumbags. In my eyes, they're in many cases as corrupt as the criminals they say that they're trying to stop, and I haven't got much time for them. I mean, I myself have been harassed by them in the past, and as I say, I actually had a police complaint upheld against an officer who was reprimanded for what he'd done. Very heavy-handed behaviour, threatening that he was going to arrest me, wouldn't tell me why he was going to arrest me, threatening that he wanted to search my car. I asked him under what basis was he wanting to search my car. He refused to give me his reasons, and I told him that under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, he had to give me a reason why he was searching my car, which he refused to do. There were witnesses present. He denied what he'd done. The witnesses all said exactly the same thing about what the police officer had done, and he got into trouble for it. So, it just goes to show, you have to be aware of your rights, and you do actually have to record the police, because they overstep the mark a lot. They break the law themselves a lot because they feel they have the right to do so, some sort of higher power right that means that they're above the law. And good on you, mate. Go get the bastards.